With range time with the TISAS Fatih 380 behind me, I somewhat knew what to expect from the Taurus 58, or at least expected to expect. But the Taurus Model 58 is somewhat of a different animal. I must insert a note of caution here. Although 380 plus P ammunition is available, Taurus advises not using it, and if used, use sparingly. So, what can one expect when handling and shooting the Model 58? First of all, you have a full gripping area, which means that you can get all digits of the firing hand on the grip, and there is ample space for the support hand to assist. Second, feel free to use the decocker at any time. From a single action firing condition, the safety decocking levers are easy to move into the down decock position, which drops the hammer to the safety notch, and which, by the way, is a classic way to carry a pistol like the Model 58. The spring-loaded safety decocking lever will automatically return to the middle fire position. During a shooting session, the safety decocking levers are easy to move into the up safe position, thus placing the pistol in a cocked and locked condition. Although there is not a staging point per se for the hammer, it can easily be staged in double action mode. If the hammer is at rest, pulling the trigger slightly to the rear forces the hammer into a safety notch. Further movement of the trigger moves the hammer to the rear that, at any point, can be stopped by holding the trigger. To complete the pull stroke, simply pull the trigger until the hammer falls. That, consequently, will place the pistol in the single action mode after the pistol fires and the slide completes its cycle. With all that said, let's pick up on the shooting. It should be noted that stuffing 15 rounds into the magazines is not possible. 14 rounds? Yes, with no problem. I ended up chambering the top round from the magazine, removing the magazine, topping off the magazine, reinserting the magazine into the pistol, and then decocking to give me 15 rounds to work with. In short, for Taurus to state that it has a capacity of 15 rounds is misleading. 14 plus 1 rounds of capacity would have been more truthful. The grip feels great in the hand. The raised portion of the back strap falls nicely into the fleshy part of the palm and provides a very good gripping sensation. The 4-inch barrel with its long sight radius is welcomed over a shorter barrel with a very short sight radius. The 3-dot sighting system, although somewhat small, provides a classic sight picture that many will be familiar with. The double action trigger pull is long, and transitioning to a single action trigger pull may take some getting used to. The weight of the Model 58 definitely helps to reduce felt recoil. Not that there is much felt recoil from the 380 cartridge in the first place. Thanks to the fairly light recoil spring, manipulating the slide should not present a problem for those with compromised hand strength. The external extractor seems to be doing a good job of ridding the pistol of expended shells. The Taurus Model 58 operated without flaw. No FTFs, no FTEs. Magazine changes were quick, and the magazine release button released them without issue. At first, hits on the target were low to point of aim. After warming up, however, both for the pistol and me, hits were starting to fall into place. For the first time ever with the Taurus Model 58, I am somewhat both disappointed and elated with the accuracy of the Model 58. I am going to take more trigger time with it and see if accuracy improves. While body shots were taking a while for me to determine where to hold, headshots fell in nicely for the most part, while hitting slightly left of my aiming point at the center of the forehead. With a more measured point of aim, I may be able to get headshots where I want them. Now, let me get to my final thoughts. The Taurus Model 58 closely approximates that of the Beretta 84, but better. Its closest modern competitor with regard to styling is the TISAS Fatih 380, a firearm that I have previously reviewed and have provided a link to that review should you be interested. While compact, the Model 58 is not as compact as some 380 pistols in the marketplace and is comparable in size to many 9mm pistols. However, the size and 15-round magazine capacity might place it above some 380 auto pistols. And speaking of size, the Taurus Model 58 exhibits a grip size, which those who have experience with the Beretta 92 M9 or a Taurus Model PT92 or PT99 will be familiar with, as the grip is the same as on the aforementioned pistols. In fact, what sets the Model 58 aside from the aforementioned pistols, aside from caliber, is the 4-inch barrel. Could the Model 58 be called a Model 92 Corto? An Italian word for short. The drawback of the Taurus 58, and one that I consider major, is the lack of magazine availability at the time of this review. Although the Taurus 58 comes with 2 magazines, one always wishes for more to have for carry, backup, or just to have on hand. Although the Taurus Model 58 is an excellent pistol, the lack of magazine availability leads me to not recommend the 58, unless you can be satisfied with just the 2 provided magazines. Magazines are among the leading cause of pistol malfunctions. To have additional magazines cannot be overstated. To be honest at this point, I would rather have the 6-hour P365X Macro in my hand with a 17-round magazine, or a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 with a 12-round magazine, of which magazines are readily available for purchase over the Taurus 58, of which I cannot purchase additional magazines. Classic styling aside, this is one case where other pistols rule, even if magazine capacities are less than desired, and that's my thought about that. Fortunately, or unfortunately, if you will, this Taurus 58 is mine, and the challenge with finding spare magazines will continue, or the pistol will be traded or sold. Well, that wraps up another chapter in the Range Ronin Chronicles. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. I hope to present more firearm and firearm-related reviews, and I look forward to you being here for them. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, be vigilant, be armed, and be safe wherever your journeys take you.